is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, host of the Philly Talk podcast, and we are live on 2 channels. Like I said, your boy Philly Mike, Philly Talk podcast, and go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes, sir. It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, and it is Philly the podcast. It's a lot of Phillies. There's a lot of Phillies going on right now, but yeah, it's Philly the podcast. Let's have some fun, man.
You take out talk for Philly, and it's interchangeable to names. Interchangeable. But yeah, once again, we are live on 2 channels. All you got to do is type in the 2 names in white, Philly Talk Podcast and Philly the Podcast, and you'll find us. You'll see both of us. We look exactly the same in every video, you know what I mean? But shout out to everybody in the chat already. We got everybody up in here. They were waiting. Sorry. Hey, Joe was on time. It was all me. I ain't going front. But shout out to you guys. So you know where we're going to start. You know, the Philadelphia Eagles continue to get disrespected. I mean, like all-time disrespected. If it's not the team in general, they're going to pick fun on players. We recently saw Chris Sims keep Jalen Hurts out of our top 40. And now CBS has Devonta Smith being the 4th best wide receiver when it comes to production in 2021, solely because mainly his size, but more importantly, it falls back to Jalen Hurts. What is your take on just the absolute mud his name's been going through when it comes to everybody outside the Eagles media?
Yeah, Philly, I don't know what's up with Chris Sims and CBS. I feel like they're in cahoots with this. We were talking about it off, camera a little bit. It feels like it's for attention because there's no way that you feel that strongly. There's no way that's the cliff you're going to jump off this year, especially like looking at Philadelphia. I feel like if you look at Philadelphia, we've went through some tough times. We've overcome some bad seasons. So to jump off this ledge, I don't know why you do it. The only reason I think he would really do it is because it's Philadelphia fans are going to do exactly what we're doing, and we're gonna, you know what I'm saying? If you throw a smoke signal, we're gonna fly a plane over it, and we're gonna figure out what's going on. So I think it makes no sense. The CBS rankings, I did a video about it also, I'm sure you did. It just made no sense, their reasoning. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand Elijah Moore. Me and you, and a lot of Philly creators were big on Elijah Moore. We saw him as a 2nd-round prospect. I understand he's probably going to see some work out there. I get that. But when you look at a person like Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's going to get a good amount of touches. Don't get me wrong. I want to be 100% clear about that. But he's going to be like the 2nd or 3rd option, if that. We're looking at Devonta Smith to come in, especially when we drafted him. We're looking for him to come in to be that guy. We're looking for him to be that number 1 guy for us that we haven't had in a long time. So when you're talking about production, why wouldn't you go with somebody that's their expectation is to be the production that we've been missing for so long? So it makes no sense to me. I've been saying, when you're in the streets, you tell them, run me my fair one, right? We're professionals. So now I'm like, Chris, just run me my interview. That's all I need. I need you to run me my interview. Explain to me what you're talking about, because I don't get it.
Yeah, man. I want to piggyback off something you said, but real quick, shout out to Texas Eagle representing an enemy territory with the $5 super chat. Let them hate, dog. We'll get the last laugh. I agree 100%. And that's pretty much how we've won a Super Bowl, and that's the thing we take. Now, a lot of people talk about, like, we want our respect. The Cowboy fans, shout out to Jay Tuck and Rome. You need a hug, or you feeling emotional? No, it's just the fact that, everybody sees it. The people who say negative things about the Eagles, they think in the back of their head, like, they know that we have that underdog mentality, and they're just fueling the fire. But like you said, the biggest thing to me comes back to, how is he 4th? Like you said, Amon Brown, let's not forget, Jared Goff, before Sean McVay got over there under Jeff Fisher, who is a quarterback killer, he was looking like a bust. You know what I mean? Now they got the new coach for the Lions, the guy who eats kneecaps. I'm not sure his name. I forgot his name. But how he's so sure that he's going to have the better situation when it comes to quarterback, because of the fact that, Goff was only good under the guru, one of the top-notch offensive minds, supposedly, in Sean McVay. So, I need to see it. And like you said, the Jets is a tough spot to play with. They have a brand new everything. And is this guy, Zach Wilson, going to elevate, Elijah's more value more than what a Heisman do for our own quarterback? So it's just like, bro, you can't give the man flowers before the draft talking about he's 1A to Jamar Chase, who I'm not mad they put Jamar Chase up there. I watch my videos pre-draft. I was huge on Jamar Chase. Exactly. You were too.
Exactly.
But come on, man. The disrespect continues on all levels. They make fun of our coaches. They make fun of our wide receiver quarterback duo. And the one thing I got to give them credit for is, the guy like Jalen Hurts is putting in the work behind the doors. Whether it's going to translate, we will see 2021. But if I had to ask you right now, Jalen Hurts, over under 3,800 yards.
Just passing or
passing?
Just passing, I would probably say under if I'm being 100% honest. I don't know if it'll be like, I'm not sitting here saying he'll only throw for 2,000 yards, but I don't know if he'll get to 4,000 yards. I don't know if this passing offense is going to be built like that. So I would say probably a little bit under. I'm going to hope that he'll probably be around like 35, 36. I think that would be like, I would be ecstatic about that. And, throw in like 500-600 yards rushing. I think that's a great year from our quarterback. And then obviously you look at the win and loss totals, but I mean, to kind of go back real quick, Dan Campbell, there's a couple people that have the mindset that the Lions are going to like blow us out when we play them. I have no idea how they got that thought process, but hey, God bless them. I love the confidence. But my thing with Jalen Hurts is like, you can't keep on blaming other people for him. Like, if you don't think Jalen Hurts is going to be good, okay, I can understand that. If you need to see what's going to happen, okay, I understand that. But you're putting people that you don't know anything about as far as, like you said, you talked about Zach Wilson with Elijah Moore. To rank him on a list and not put Jalen Hurts makes no sense. And then to go ahead and, like you said, put Elijah Moore ahead of somebody like Devonta Smith, who has already a connection with that quarterback. So, every nod on paper should go to Jalen Hurts and Devonta Smith, in my opinion. Like, they've played together before. This is going to be our quarterback's second year. We have a better offensive, scheme theoretically, and we have a better coach. So it's like, I don't understand how you add all that up and then just say, but a second rounder is definitely going to probably produce way more than a guy that just produced at Alabama, in a record-setting pace. Like, how does 1 + 1 become 45 for Chris Sims is really the question I need to know.
Yeah. And shout out to the channel members and shout out to everybody in the chat. Be more coming with the hot take, 4,228 passing touchdowns, 435 rushing yards, or 8 touchdowns, QB1 Hurts. Hey, and I really should have set around 34, 35 over under. I think I put it a little too high at 38, even though B more got him going over it. But I do agree. I think this offense is going to be a little bit more run central. Miles Sanders, the bruisers we got. Plus, I think, man, Sirianni doesn't really do it, but you gotta incorporate Jalen Hurts' legs. That is a gift. A lot of people look at it as a curse, like he's a run-first quarterback. I don't necessarily call him a run-first, but last year, a couple times, something breaks down, whether it was first read not getting open, the lack of protection up front. He used it, but he used it wisely. He's smart. He knows when to slide. He knows when to take his lumps. I honestly think you got to use his legs. You got to get the RPO involved. You got to do it. You got to do some quarterback design runs. And I know you were one of the guys who were like, I'm not saying it's true, but if you do his 4 games times blah 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 with an extra game, you think he's gonna close in on 1,000 yards, or where would you say his rushing will be?
I think that realistically, depending on what this offense looks like, he realistically could. That if that happened, I don't think he would be the best of passing quarterbacks. I don't think it would be a good offensive mentality for him to strive to hit 1,000 yards. But like, if he's running all over the place and this offensive line isn't that good again, I could see him surviving on his legs and maybe hitting somewhere close to that. Even if he does, I mean, he could hit around, I really think like he'll hit around 400 to 600 yards, anywhere in between there. Like, I'm really thinking that's realistically where he'll hit. But like I said, if he's running around for his life, if something crazy happens and he's just, running around, then yeah, he could hit 1,000. He has that talent. I don't think he realistically will. When you get on the horn with a bunch of Cowboy fans, it becomes one of those like, all right, you want to add up a bunch of imaginary numbers. Let's add up a bunch of it. But no, yeah, I don't think he'll actually hit 1,000. But 400 to 600, I think is realistic. I think that's where like you said, you have to use his skill set, and his skill set is running the ball. His skill set is quick reads and getting the ball out fast. So you got to utilize that.
Well, yeah, shout out to Be More Careful, and so did Jalen Williams say. But real quick, Jersey Boy channel member said the Smith comparable to Harrison of the Colts. If his career is even close to that, we got a winner. Don't worry about the haters. You already know. But look, this is what they're saying. Remember, 225 passing yards per game is 3,800 with 17 games. So that's very likely. Like I said, Carson Wentz got 4,000 without a 500-yard receiver. That's the last time I'm going to say his name. And it wasn't a fantastic season, so it's definitely in the cards. Again, as you said, we gotta utilize Jalen Hurts' legs. He's not the fastest guy, but he got quickness with it. When you add that extra rusher, it's hard to game plan for, especially when you're predominantly an RPO offense. I'm not saying we will be that, but you got a guy who ran 5.3 yards per carry in Miles Sanders. Use it. And Jalen, to your point of Elijah Moore, I know the gadget players in the slot get production, but I'm telling you, man, I can see games where Jalen Hurts goes to Devonta Smith, 11, 12, 13 times, and he has like 7 to 8 catches. So hopefully his body can hold that, but I see that. What about you?
Yeah, that's gonna be our like, I don't know if you play Madden at all, but that's gonna be like our, when you play the franchise player mode or whatever, and you're in the beginning, he's just like, just throw it up to me. You gotta just throw it up to Colt. He's gonna be Colt. You gotta just throw it to your boy. Like, there's definitely gonna be a lot of games. And I will say, kind of going back to what Jalen said, I did forget that it was 17 games when I was making my. So that does change it a lot. I respect that. I do. Definitely. I think 38 is manageable. I think there'll be games that he'll go out there and throw for 300 yards. I think there'll be games that he'll go out there, throw for maybe 200. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'll depend on the defense, depend on what the offense is trying to do. But I think that, saying 17 games, I could see it happening. But I definitely think, man, that connection has to be something you have to look at. No other quarterback wide receiver duo really has that, if I'm not mistaken, this year. I know Travis Etienne went to, Jaguars, and he's back with his quarterback, and they're kind of switching him to a wide receiver. So maybe that's close.
Burrow.
Huh?
Burrow
does have Chase. So that's true. So those.
And Tua has Waddle.
Oh, damn. So I just messed that all up. But Tua's trash. That's what I don't get. How does Tua go out there and play terribly, but we just like ignore that because the team was good? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get it. So I don't know what the hate is, man. I really don't get what the hate is on him.
Yeah, I agree. And shout out to Bobby Murphy. He said, if he's not mistaken, 4 starts, Hurts had 385 yards. Now it might be different, but like I said, 17 divided by whatever, that's like 50 yards a game on the ground to get to a K, something along them lines. But yeah, look, I think Nick Sirianni gotta use the run game heavily. Like I said, you got Miles Sanders. You went ahead and reinsured the backfield with a guy like Kerryon Johnson. He got to stay healthy. Jordan Howard, stay away from his shoulder. You know what I mean? No stingers got to be far away from him. But we got backs in there to compete. And so if Miles Sanders gets nicked up, which he did last year, he only played 12 games, you have some backup, and the run game is going to be a young quarterback's best friend along with the protection. And I don't think people realize this as much as it is. Like, we talk about the O-line being healthy, and shout out to Cowboys fan only sneaking up in here, got his notebook out. I see you. We talk about the offensive line being healthy, but forget the whole offensive line. When the right side, Lane Johnson and Brandon Brooks play, when they both play, we win 80% of our games. And when they don't play, we're like around 25 to 30%. It's a fact. Now, what is your faith in them to legitly having a healthy season? Maybe nicked up here and there, but where's your take on them just finishing? December, where we got to play football, they're in the lineup.
Yeah, I think that's more realistic. I think, like, It's tough because with 17 games, like I feel like you're gonna be doing that, load control or load management, what they call in the NBA. You kind of have to when you have, veterans
You
like
bringing
that.
load management to the
Yeah, you don't have to maybe like think about, what you're really gonna do. So do I have faith that they can go 17 games? Do I have faith that they can go 20 games, presumably, if you make it to the Super Bowl? No. I mean, if we're looking at, history and everything, it's hard to say yes to that. But I mean, I think we can figure it out. I think that we have enough players on this team, and on that offensive line that if they are down a game or two, we can get by on that game or two. So, I think that if it's like a little something that you're like, all right, let's give him a week off. I think Jack Driscoll can step in for a week.
Yeah.
I think, if it's Andre Dillard or if it's Jordan Mailata, I think that one of those guys can hopefully step in for a week and we can still win a game. So I don't want to sit here and say that they're going to play all 17, but I think that we're strong enough at the offensive line position to, you know what I'm saying, that we can get by if they don't. So I don't feel confident that they're going to play the whole 17, but we all right.
Yeah. And whether Andre Dillard beats out Jordan Mailata, which I don't really feel confident at, you got guys that you can move around. You said Jack Driscoll. We got a couple people, and that was one of your things. I saw, when the Cowboy guys, shout out to them if they're still here, talked about, us going down. We have depth. Last year, we lost our players and we lost our depth. Again, you just need a little bit of luck when it comes to the health department. Football's rough. You plan for injuries. That's why you have 53 men on your roster. You only put out 11 on offense and defense. You plan for the injuries, but not at the clip that we suffer them over the years.
Right.
So it's important that we get them healthy. And I don't ever see a guy being healthy and taking the load management in the NFL. Who knows, though? Stranger things are coming.
I feel like you almost have to, because like I'm not saying load management like you're healthy. Like you said, I wouldn't see nobody being like, no, I'm good, but I'm sick. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna take this week off. But if you see somebody like, hey, my hammy's been kind of, tight this whole week, and I know you're a vet, and listen, this is a kind of easier game. You got to make those decisions this year, because if we're good, if we suck, then,
what's an easy game for us?
The Lions.
There you go.
And the Cowboys, at least one of them. But nah, real talk. I feel like we have the depth to do it. As far as like the injuries go, though, I kind of feel like, I don't want to say it was his fault, but I feel like Doug Peterson leaving and, all that ice cream after the practices and everything, I think maybe we'll see a difference in that. I think he had something to do with it. Like I said, I'm not saying it was all his fault, but it's no coincidence that as soon as you come here, we're literally like the most injured team year after year. And it's not just like new injuries. It's the guys that get injured, they come here and they get re-injured. Then when they come back, they get re-injured. Like it was a consistent cycle. So we just obviously weren't doing enough as far as, training these guys, rehabilitating these guys. Like, so everything has to change. And hopefully with this competition, factor and going, because even when I had Jack Stoll on, even he said, he was like, he's the type of guy that wants to practice how he plays. And I know a lot of people say that, but we weren't doing that. You don't have ice cream, at halftime. Like that's not how it works. You don't dance and party at games. You get serious and you compete. So, I think that's a big thing that I think a lot of us, not we're necessarily looking over, but just weren't really thinking of. Like Doug Peterson's way of practicing and way of training these guys may have been a determining factor in how bad our injuries were. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see.
Oh yeah, that was one of my biggest claims. I have no proof, but there is some background. I don't have like legit proof like what he was doing, but he came and the injuries followed right after that first year. I don't know whether we were practicing too hard, too less, switching it up, not doing what Jack Stoll said to you on your podcast. But something was different because we couldn't stay healthy. And I'm hoping that a new regime just brings that element alone changes the complexion of this team. You're talking about a top 10 offensive line. Then you're talking about a defensive line that can really get at the passer. Third in sacks last year. We added Kerrigan. We get Fletcher Cox, who a lot of people were down on him, but he was injured throughout the whole year. Nick, knack, patty whack, give a dog a bone type injuries. Same with Darius Slay. I mean, every game I seen him limp to the sideline for a little bit, man up and come back in. But, you know, the injuries plagued the NFC East. You know, the Cowboys suffered through others. So did Washington, us. But the one team that, you know, they really think is coming up. I don't understand why Giants fans believe in Daniel Jones. Someone did say in here that Jalen Hurts, you could talk about his fumbles and stuff, but he dang near threw as many touchdowns as Daniel Jones in like 8 less games.
Yeah, I will say this about our practices. I feel like when we watch them, they're very appealing to like fans. Like you remember a couple years, even like, you know, last year, you watch it and they're listening to Future, they're bopping around and, you know, but not much work is really being done. Like this year, you see them talking and you see them having fun, but you see them running around while they're doing it. It's not, you know, I'm sure a lot of people have played, you know, even high school football. I'm sure you played, you know, some type of sport that you've had to practice, and you have to be serious. There has to be that balance of, you know, fun and just competitive nature. You know, that's what we have to get back, because I mean, nobody's dancing, you know, like dancing around doing, you know, Fortnite dances and stuff like that. That's not going to win you many games, you know, come football time. So I don't know. We just need to get it right. And maybe I'm just nitpicking now because it's hindsight 2020, but
nah, you're right. And I think Nick Sirianni, I mean, anytime you get a new boss, you know, things are changed. You got to be on your P's and Q's a little bit more. The leniency that you have with one might not, you know, go along the same with the other. And you just got to be disciplined and apply everything. But shout out to Texas Eagle with the $5 super chat. He says, does Fletcher Cox make it past trade deadline if we are in the basement? And the most important part of that question is the second. If we're in the basement, to me, I say, you know, you really got to consider that. Getting rid of him because of the money, and I know he'll talk about the money big time. I forgot exactly where it stands for next year, but you also got to think that if there is a team coming up in contention who, like, say, a Green Bay Packer team who got a great a decent secondary, but they're getting bled through when it comes to stopping a run. I'm telling you, if we go shop them, it's a different trade value. But if a team allowing 150 yards on the ground every single game gets Fletch, that $150 turns into 93. It could be the difference of them winning us or going to a Super Bowl. So at that point, his value could be high. We're sellers, and then you got to go that route. Now, I hope we're not in that route because I done talked my talk a little bit. But where's your take on that? I know you've been kind of on the edge of that.
Yeah, no, I feel like, look, if and you said it perfectly, it's the second part of that statement. If we're not good, everybody got to be for sale, especially as far as veterans go. I'm not saying, you know, get rid of Devonta Smith and dumb stuff like that, but you got to look at these vets. You got to look at people like, you know, Lane Johnson. You got to look at Brandon Brooks, not Jason Kelce, because honestly, I think Jason Kelce would just retire before you traded him. Like, I think he's here for us. You know what I'm saying? Not the other way around. So, you know, I think you got to look at all these veterans and really make that decision. And you got to look at people like Andre Dillard, too, that don't bring you versatility, that don't bring you that. If you have a question mark on any of these people coming next year, you have to look at their value and you have to move on. I think Derek Barnett is the biggest person to keep an eye on, because if you don't have any production in the first 4 or 5 weeks, we still save $10 million. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it might not seem like, you know, that it matters this year, but that matters next year. We could roll that over. So that's, I've been saying, I feel like that's when you give your cousin or something $10. You're like, hold this. I might need this.
I might need that back.
Exactly. We might have to, you know, break that piggy bank, so to speak, and grab that 10 mil real quick. So we could upgrade at the trade deadline just as much as we can be sellers. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. I'm all about finding out what, and we could do both if you really think about it. Like, if you, like you said, if you give somebody a Fletcher Cox, they instantly get better, right? You know what I'm saying? Same thing with like a Lane Johnson, a Brandon Brooks. If you are going to make a team a Super Bowl contender or even a deep playoff run, do you really need a second or third round pick? Let me look at some of your young players that maybe you don't, you know what I'm saying, have the need for, and we can work something out there. And some, you know, so there's a lot of ways that you can go, but I definitely think you have to start looking into value once you're at a certain point in the season.
Oh yeah, and like you said, the top of the list guys that you're gonna look to sell are you click age. Once you click age, then you filter out money. It's age and contract. That's what you filter out, and that's where you start leaving. But shout out to Joey Z coming in with the $2 super chat. CBS smoking that Kazak. Hashtag Grim Reaper. You already know. Big fact, my guy.
Big facts.
Shout out to Kayvon Kelman says, oh, he dropped the $4.99 super chat. I said this in LB's live. Shout out to LB. And if you supporters of Jalen Hurts, go get them rent dues.
Yeah, facts.
Hurt seasons, man.
I gotta grab me.
Feeling it, bro. I
gotta grab me a bucket hat.
I keep saying I'm gonna grab one and I forget. Shout out to Albito. He said on his live today, people just hate on Hurts because he was benched at Alabama, but getting benched was a part of the movie. Exactly. You know, people who get benched, that can play with their psyche. They can shut down. What'd he do? He stayed a whole nother year. So he did man up and stayed. He stayed. Now, once Tua showed Alabama what he can do, I mean, it's hard to get your job back. But once he got his shot to leave, which I don't get mad at it because it's not NFL. You didn't get paid already. You're still trying to you're trying to film your movie. Exactly. With that being said, he went over there, met up with CeeDee Lamb in Oklahoma, had a great season, and was runner-up for the Heisman. So, you know, listen, I love that because he's already been beat down and he didn't let it get to him. So all that is part of his demeanor. The way he can sit up on a mic and command, well, the way he commands the offense, the locker room, and the fact that he has them quotes that you just want to take and grab, that you want to put on hats and shirts, that you want to go, you're about to buy a number 2 jersey. Now you got to go buy a number 1 jersey, is because how he gets you feeling. Now that does have to translate to the field, which, you know, I think it can. You know, I really do think it can. I saw some things that were concerning last year, but what rookie in a situation as bad as the Eagles were last year is going to thrive in it? Like, it's hard. Yeah. We were a dumpster fire.
And you can say that about almost every player on this team. Like, I've come to the point that I'm trying to, you know, be biased because it's like, I'm biased, I should say. But it's like, as much as the people talk junk about our team, it makes no sense because you can say the same thing about a lot of other teams. You're telling me that Drew Lock looked better than what Jalen Hurts might be? You know what I'm saying? Like, look, I'm not a hater of the Broncos. I got nothing against the Broncos. Denver is a beautiful city. Colorado is a beautiful state. But Drew Lock is trash. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is very obvious. Drew Lock is trash. He had a couple good games, but he's not good. So to put somebody like that above a Jalen Hurts, to put somebody like a Andy Dalton who probably won't start next year, like, it's like depend. Tell me what you're doing, because he said he treated it like a depth chart. That's how he said. So he's telling me he would start Andy Dalton over him. He would start Case Keenum over him. He would start all these people over him. So, and you know, Cowboys fan, you guys didn't win many games. So I mean, I'm happy that you guys put up a lot of numbers. I don't know what that does for you, though. You know, like, I feel like you had what was it that Rome kept saying? You soft. You know, you got low self-esteem. That's what it was. You got low self-esteem, bro. You got to get over those numbers, man. But I don't know. I'm tired of them hating on us. That's really what makes me like biased and be like, nah, you know what? This is what you're gonna do. Because it's like, why? Yeah. And I think that's why they do it. I think it's just because they know, oh, we can get these Eagles fans going. And hey, they do. They do. It is what it is. Cowboys fans they don't represent their squad. You know what I'm saying? Other teams don't really represent their squad like our fan base does. So they knew. Let's talk a little bit of junk about the hope that the Eagles have, and let's see everybody go crazy.
Yep, that's true. You say something outlandish about the Eagles, we're gonna let you know. And I'm not claiming that Jalen Hurts is a top 15 quarterback, because just purely off the unknown factor, you know, I could look at 2 games and claim why he can do this, that, and the third, and I could be realistic and look at games and say, man, he got to work on, you know, extending the play and looking at his second and third reads. He got to work on when to run and when to throw. He got to work on, you know, these things that we saw in the Cowboys game, because in the Cowboys game it wasn't good. Hold up, let me know if y'all can hear my mic though, because someone said I can't hear that my mic was messed up. But shout out to you guys. But again, you got to think. knowing a guy who was at the top, the bottom, and the top of college to come in, second round pick, hearing all the noise that this is Carson's team, he's not going to get a chance, seeing how the season unfell, or whatever you want to say, going in there, commanding the offense when you had everybody it was a lackluster situation. Doug Peterson was probably on his period the whole second half of the season dealing with Howie Roseman. Think about it. That Howie Roseman, Doug Peterson tug of war was real. You know, he went through the Carson Wentz drama. He went through Doug Peterson's lack of play calling, which ultimately got him fired, ultimately got Carson Wentz benched because of the tandem of them two. The O-line being a disaster, breaking records of multiple different starts. And just for him to keep his head afloat in that situation tells me how he can uplift a squad. Quez Watkins couldn't get no time, whether it was injuries or not. He's catching touchdowns. Dallas Goedert comes back to life at the end of the season. Miles Sanders looks a little bit different in the run game. Everything looked a little different. Alshon Jeffrey's catching balls like he didn't want to catch balls from Carson at all. So I just think that, you know, there's more good to the 4-game sample size in context than bad, but everybody wants to talk about 52% completion percentage. Everybody wants to talk about the turnovers, which got to be fixed. But what rookie doesn't have problems? I mean, you got a rookie over there in Tua who can't throw for 35 yards, as you said.
And my thing is, you have Carson Wentz at number 18, who had just as bad, if not worse, of a season. So it's like, you know, and it's not like he's 2 or 3 years removed from what we wanted from Carson Wentz. You know what I'm saying? He's at least 2 years. You know, some people would say, you know, 2018 wasn't bad, whatever you want to say, but he's at least a couple years removed of what he was supposed to be. So you're telling me he's the number 18th quarterback. Why? Because he's going back to his coach? Because he's going to Frank Reich? That's cool. They lost all their other head coaches or all their other coaches damn near. And those coaches that helped Jacoby Brissett, Phillip Rivers win a division are now on the Eagles with a player named Jalen Hurts, who you're telling me doesn't have more talent than Jacoby Brissett or more talent than a Phillip Rivers at that stage in his career. Come on. Yeah. Like, I need to know what you're basing this on, because if you can't tell me it's a depth chart, I'm taking him. I'm taking Jalen Hurts over a couple of those names. Well, yeah. I think we had him at 28. Yeah,
I shout out to you. Listen, if you haven't seen Joe and Hunter Doyle from the Insider podcast, they ranked the top 40. He got him at 28, I believe you said, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Which I ain't totally mad at it. But I think it's different than depth chart than what is on your roster. I think they're also factoring in the Eagles question mark at coach and lackluster pass catchers prior to Devonta Smith coming in here. I think if you put Jalen Hurts on the Chiefs, even though there's unknowns, he's like Andy Reid, dominant receivers. He's not Patrick Mahomes, but you're going to rate him higher. So I think they're discounting Jalen Hurts and they're discounting Nick Sirianni in the offense, which, I mean, I just can't wait to, see them line up and connect, because
and it's crazy. How do you do that you do that, and then in the same breath you say we think Zach Thomas or Zach what the hell is his name? Zach Wilson. I hate Zach Wilson. I'm gonna be 100% honest. Like, I think Zach Wilson is so soft. I did a couple, like, we were all trying different things. I did like those combine breakdowns videos of people, and I did it of Zach Wilson. And I was trying to be, like, respectful and everything, because, like, I did see the talent from the last year. But my man, his mom legitimately said in his hype video that he cried. He used to come home and cry after high school games because people were being mean to him. And that man's from, like, Utah. You gonna come to Philadelphia and play quarterback? Like, you gonna go to New York and play quarterback after you was crying after high school games in Utah? Like, I don't know, man. So you're putting him and Elijah Moore, who a lot of Eagles fans were like, we'll probably get in the second or third round, and the Jets, who are just the Jets. I mean, the Jets have been terrible for years, and now you have a question mark of a coach. I hope that Salah's great, and I think he is going to be great, but you don't know yet. You know what I'm saying? Rob Saleh hasn't done much yet outside of the defense. So you put all those question marks ahead of Well, we saw Jalen Hurts throw 52%, and so yeah, he's not gonna be that guy. Like, I just don't get the logic.
Yeah,
I don't get the logic.
it's 52% in a league that is the best league in the world with a franchise that is, listen, if Doug Peterson's still here, listen, if we were going to put out that offensive line next year, if Doug Peterson was still the coach, if we didn't go draft a wide receiver, well, then I can say I agree with you. But no, we realized the wide receiver was a problem. Try to correct it. We realize the offensive line is a problem, and thus far, knock on fake wood, it's healthy, because I think around this time last year, we were reporting Brandon Brooks went down without even practicing. Thanks. So and shout out to Amp Play, he's a cool dude, Cowboys fan. But listen, if you disagree that the offensive line, when healthy, the defensive line, when healthy, is not going to be able to keep us in games, and I don't know why people watch football. But shout out to Mazda Funk Watkins with the $4.99 banger. He said everybody knows in the SEC, Alabama quarterbacks have 6 seconds to throw the ball because of the defense. Hurts was forced to throw at OU. Exactly. And you'll hear, who was OU's coach again? Lincoln Riley. You will hear him say that, and even people on Alabama staff saying that Jalen Hurts progressed so much once he got to OU because of the struggle, because of the things that Mazda Funk Watkins just said, and he elevated his game. And yes, Jalen Hurts has things that you got to correct, but there's things that you can't teach. Style, demeanor, and work ethic. That is what you can't teach. That's what took a great quarterback in Carson Wentz and dropped him, and which can take an average quarterback, not saying Jalen Hurts is average, and motivate him. Russell Wilson was a third-round pick because on, tools, height, arm, he wasn't the guy. But what did he go to the league with? Style, swagger, demeanor, and work ethic. And they had a guy in Matt Flynn who was supposed to be the guy, but Pete Carroll said, hold up, wait a minute. Y'all thought we were finished. No. And he put him in. Put me in, coach. Now, I'm not claiming he's Russell Wilson, but they got some traits. He got to work on his completion percentages. Okay, thank you, Devonta. He got to work on staying in the pocket and being poised. Okay, thank you, 80% winnings when we have Lane Johnson and Brandon Brooks. He got to work on it, and I think he will. But shout out to Mazda Funk.
Yeah, and the craziest part of it, I said this about a million things. Like, everything's crazy to me about this offseason. But what's crazy to me is, like, this whole division was trash last year. Like, there was no 11 win team in this division. So I don't understand why everybody's thinking we can't win 6 to 9 games, like I've been saying, because we're playing you guys for 8 of those. So, like, nobody is head and shoulders above anybody in this division. I've been saying that, and I still feel that way. There's question marks on every single team. And the Eagles' question marks are starting to become like, I don't know. They're not even question marks at this point. They're just like we know we have to see what he's going to become. We know where he needs to be better. But, like, to say that Devonta Smith isn't going to be productive because of Jalen Hurts, to say that Jalen Hurts looked like a high school quarterback, like, why are you taking shots like this?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, there's stuff that you say, and there's professional ways of saying you don't think this guy's going to be that great, but you're, like, going out of your way to talk junk about certain players. Like, for what? For what? The NFC East shouldn't be this interesting of a division, to be real with you. We were all trash. There's a lot, more interesting things going on right now in the NFL world. But apparently the Eagles, the Cowboys, we're all people want to talk about. So it is what it is, man. I love it, though.
Yeah, but you just hit it on the nose with that. Like, Chris Sims put out a top 40. Cool. That's your job to and hopefully you really agree with, believe it. You know what I mean? I don't think he does. But then to come out and say that this man is miss passes that a senior quarterback in high school could do, it's like, bro, you're not better than a senior quarterback.
What did you do?
Like, bro, were you watching your tape when you were talking about Jalen Hurts? Because, again, there were some concerning things, but you cannot tell me if you watch Jalen Hurts' best and worst throws, you're going to say, dang, he can't allow that. He has to be better than that. But then you're going to watch some of his plays and say, hold up. Is that a top 10 quarterback? Because he has flashes. And so this is my thing with Jalen Hurts. There might be some hiccups because you got a new head coach, you got a total offensive scheme, and Jalen Hurts is young. He's not even 4 games in the COVID season. To me, is like almost dang near a brand new player.
That's a preseason. That's a preseason.
Exactly, a preseason.
Facts. And yeah, you had what's his name over him? What's Holmes' name? I can't. Taysom Hill. That is the most disrespectful. Like, that is the most disrespect. And not only Taysom Hill over him, you had Taysom Hill pretty damn high. Like,
24.
we beat Taysom Hill
with a number 1 defense behind him.
I mean, you know, I'll say this. I've always said this. Jalen Hurts didn't. I think people like overrate what Jalen Hurts did in that game. I feel like he had a really good first half, and then they figured him out in the second half. I mean, it makes sense. Like you said, they had the number 1 defense. It was going to happen at some point. But at the end of the day, Taysom Hill did nothing against our beaten up defense. Like, we weren't supposed to win that game. Like, you know what I'm saying? We were not supposed to win that game.
Yeah, low key. I bought someone a jersey. Shout out to Daniel Beltfield, because I legitimately said the week before, like, I'm buying someone a Jalen Hurts jersey because I honestly didn't believe we were going to win. I'm not going to even front, but Jalen Hurts, he pulled one out, and it just shows how he was able to elevate his team, whether it was with his legs or his arms. He has the demeanor to win. And shout out to Jersey Boy with the $5 banger. Hurts is Wilson 2.0. Hot take. If he plays a full season, his stats will be sick. 3,500 plus passing yards, 700 plus rushing yards, and probably 30 plus combined touchdowns. Thoughts? I will co-sign right around 3,500. I will co-sign I would say 600 plus, but I'll take your 700 and 30 touchdowns passing and rushing. I agree. I think you'll have something like 24 touchdowns on the air and like 9 rushing touchdowns. What about you?
Yeah, no, I'm with you all the way, except for the rushing yards. I think he might, now that I know that there's 17 games, I'll go a little bit higher than 3,500, but I think, 36, 37, maybe 38 would be doable. The rushing yards, I still think, anywhere from 400 to 600 yards is like very, very doable and very, very, I would be happy with that. I don't want my quarterback to be a running back. I mean, it might be cool. You know what I'm saying? It might look good, but it just doesn't really work in the playoffs. It doesn't work in the NFL. We need a guy that can go out there and throw for 4,000 yards at some point in his career. If that's not this year, that's fine. But I do need to see him be a passer first. So I think 600 yards is very, very fair. I'm down with it.
Fact. Shout out to our guy, Philly Fresh in the chat. Yo, that. My guy was live earlier today.
His merch is live now, too. I got to grab that.
I know. I still got to make mine.
You got to get on it, Mike.
I started. Like, I have some shirts, but I didn't like, and I just gave up. And it was all with, the what is it called again? Teesprings. Yeah.
Teesprings trash.
I know, but that's why.
That's what I'm using too. But
you're like, but it's trash. But nah, shout out to everybody in the chat. We got about 144 in here. Again, we are live on 2 channels. So definitely show the Philly love. That's one thing Eagle content creators do. We stick together. I mean,
this is crazy timing, though. This is crazy timing we were supposed to do this like Friday, I think, and it was my fault. I kind of backed out, so it is funny time.
We were supposed to do the Richard Sherman verse. Well, we were supposed to talk about Richard Sherman versus Nelson, but more along the lines of Richard Sherman playing Warzone with Darius Slay. What does that mean? You know what I mean? Try to get it all hyped because we want the CB too bad. But again, shout out to my guy Joe Cashel. Definitely go check him out. Appreciate y'all for being up in here. But yeah, the season, August. So at this point now, realistically, we still look to the left. We see Zach Ertz over there. We look to the right. And, the 2 things that are going through Eagles Nation's head is what's going on with Zach Ertz. And are we going into the season with McPherson and Maddox competing for the number 2 spot? Give me your take on them 2 subjects.
Ertz, I mean, we got to figure that situation out. Either come out and say, he's going to be an Eagle. We're trying to keep him. Or just get rid of the guy like this. It's getting old. It really is. And I'm not one to say I want him cut. I definitely don't want him cut, but you got make a decision. You got to either poop or get off the pot, right? That's the saying. You got to do something. This is just drawing out too much, and I know that. I don't want to say I know, but I'm pretty confident that it will not draw out into training camp. Like, I'm pretty sure that a decision will be made before they all have to be there. So I'm hoping that we figure it out. But as far as our cornerbacks, I'm at the point of I'm just at the point of accepting that we're probably going to see what Zach McPherson or Jaquette have. You know, this could be something again that they're waiting for the Zach Ertz thing to, you know, pan out and then have that money and go after somebody like a Richard Sherman or a Steven Nelson or a Gary Conley or whoever it may be. I just feel like if they knew the only thing holding us back from going to get, you know, Steven Nelson right now was having Zach Ertz, I think they would have just took the first offer and just said, let's just, you know, cut ties, move on, get this over with, get what we need, and go on. So I think we are where we are with cornerbacks, unfortunately. Shout out to Michael Jaquette. I hope that he's great. I hate, like, being honest because I feel bad because I've met some of these guys, so I don't want to be, like, rude, but, like,
yeah,
it's the truth. We all want somebody better. You know, it is what it is. I would love, and it's not even, like, a bad thing for them because realistically, Michael Jaquette didn't get a rookie year. You know what I'm saying? If Zach McPherson comes in here, he might not get a rookie year. He might get thrown right into the fire. So if you can get somebody like a Richard Sherman or somebody like a Steven Nelson that they can learn under for a year, we're thinking everybody wins from that, you know?
Oh, yeah. And that's the thing. Like, who would have thought that the name Zach Ertz would be this frustrating? You know what I mean? After being Super Bowl, like, hero, not necessarily, you know, Nick Foles, Corey Clement, they all were a big part of it, but just the whole aura around the situation, you know, the mud his name got put through, just the demeanor we saw last year and this year. Look, if you're telling me Ertz's money is just going to roll over to next year, like they're willing to trade or release him, and they're not going to go get me a CB2, then keep him. But again, as much as I say keep him, he's going to hurt what we figure out or what we're going to learn about Dallas Goedert. How do we know Dallas Goedert's true potential in the contract year if, you know, Zach Ertz is still getting decent reps? How do we know?
I mean, like, my thing with Zach Ertz, yeah, I get that. But at the same time, I think we do. I think we know, like, the floor. We know at the very least the floor. So, like, if we did bring back Zach Ertz and he did, like, do his, you know, puppy dog pout, which he could do. He could just be like, oh, I don't want to play here. You're ruining your own career. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, at that end of the day, like, you really are. So, you know, I don't think he would do that. I think it would be an upgrade as far as the team. I agree that you want to see what Goddard has. But we have seen that Goddard has gotten injured before too. So, you know, it would be nice to have a Zach Ertz.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's a weird situation to be in. But like I said, it's time to, you know, Cooper get off the pot. But if they did just cut him and we did not get a cornerback, I would be ticked off. Because, like, that's really the only thing that makes it make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Unless you get a good deal for him, which I don't think they will. So at this point, cut him, cut the ties, you know, make money. And what I love that I read through, like, all the comments and stuff, not even just here, just on Twitter and everything, is like, we make video. I mean, you make videos probably like daily, if not, you know, every day, whatever. I never really hear us sit here and talk about Super Bowl aspirations and stuff like that. Like, I think we really accept it as a fan base that we are maybe not in a rebuild. Maybe we don't want to call it that. You know what I'm saying? But we're at a point that we're at a point that we might not be great next year. And all I ever see is, like, you guys are delusional. You guys are going to be bad. Like, we know, we got that. Like, we're trying to talk individual players now.
Yeah.
We know where our team is.
Yeah, and I think, especially on your channel, and I see on mine, listen, I like all the content creators have a different level of optimism. Now you got Cowboys fan talking about some turn this up. I will say this real quick before I get to Texas Eagle. I'm very optimistic because the question marks that we all see and we know haven't been answered. But doing our due diligence, because we make videos, because we can't physically find out about Nick Sirianni, the health of this team, Jalen Hurts, Devonta Smith, and the new defensive regime. Everything I just said it could be question mark good or bad. But because we're doing research, we feel like there's more of a yes factor than a no factor. And so them things get put together and we could be decent. And you got to remember, just let's go over the trajectory of the Eagles in the last couple of years. Every time we come off a fourth place ugly season, the next year is pretty darn good. We finished in, and this is not being delusional because I do not think we're Super Bowl team, but we were in last place the year before we went to the Super Bowl. And I don't think that. I'm with Joe. We're going to go through our hiccups. Nick Sirianni talks great X and O's, but he hasn't done it himself. He helped scheme, and it's going to translate. But when he's in that position to call the plays in a sequence on the sideline, when to call timeout, this, that, and the third, he might get a little hiccup. Jalen Hurts, with all the lights on him now, knowing he's going to be the starter, can have a hiccup. Injuries could be the death of me. If we keep getting injured, though, like, I just can't handle it. But these things can happen. But if you look at the team last year who won 4 games, who got rid of most of the problems, we got rid of problems, we added solutions, and some of these games, Steelers, 1 possession, Ravens, 1 possession, Giants, 1 possession.
We were close in the Cardinals game too.
Cardinals, bro, I actually, when I did the little fake schedule reveal, because you really don't know, because you got to see health and all that stuff, I had us winning about 8 games. That's what I had us.
Yeah, I've been saying I think we're like anywhere from 6 to 9. That's my like unbiased, I'll be happy even if we did that type take. You know what I'm saying? But
it will be going up.
Exactly.
It will be going up, and we have young everything.
Exactly. But like you, I did the schedule breakdown. I forget if I did a video on it, but when I was looking at it, I was seeing I was saw 7 games that I was like, there's no way you're gonna tell me we're gonna get blown out in this game. Like, we will be in this game no matter what, win or lose. And then there was a lot of games that I was like, bro, I think we could win this. Like, the only games that I'm really looking at and I'm like, this is gonna be tough is probably the Kansas City game and the Tampa Bay game. Every other game, I think we have a chance to be in it. I don't think we're going to be blown out by any of these teams. Like, I really don't.
Yeah, and here's the thing. So someone can say, you just sat there and said on camera that, you think you're going to win 7, 8, or 9 games. How are you going to win a division? Well, here's my thing. Cowboys who think they're going to be great, I always say this. What can go wrong will go wrong.
Exactly.
So I'm not saying the Eagles are going to win 12 games. I'm saying we could possibly win a division with 9 because y'all could pull Cowboy-ish things and win 8. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And the Giants, Danny Pennies, relying on that? Come on, my guy. Shout out to the Nest Out West. He's the one who said Danny Pennies. I was calling him Danny Nichols. But Danny Penny is a tier lower, so I'll take it. Shout out to Texas Eagle, though. He said, I think at this point we need to keep Ertz, more value at the trade deadline, and it's more for him to play for, right? Like, he wants out.
Yeah, I mean, that would be on him. Like I said earlier, like, if he wants to do that puppy dog pout, like, that's on him. You're ruining your own career. Like, if you can play a couple good games, we might be able to up your value if that's where, we are right now, which I just don't think it is. I think it's I really do feel like our front office, and I won't even say it's just Howie. I feel like our front office really is trying to hold their foot firm with Zach Ertz because it's going to be a bad look. It's not, we pride ourselves on having this family atmosphere and stuff. And I know it looks bad now, but when it actually happens, you're going to have some fans that are really upset. And you're going to, you're obviously going to have some fans that understand business is business, but Zach Ertz was a big part of this organization, and it's going to put a lot more heat on this front office. And part of me really feels like that's a big part of them holding back a little bit,
Yeah, and like you said, it's definitely going to be that. You got the Eagle fans that say, "Man, I love Zach Ertz, but we're looking to the future," and you got the ones that hold on. I mean, it's just what we do. I cry every time one of the Hall of Fame Eagles lose. I don't do it on camera. I'll be in my house by myself. You know what I mean? I was like, what's wrong with you? I'm all like, an Eagle player got traded. You know what I mean?
If y'all see that dust, y'all feel that dust in your
eyes. Shout out to Al Kabir, the analyst, said 2 of my favorite Eagle content creators. He dropped 2 of them Jones. I think possibly a one on both. But listen, shout out to Al Kabir, the analyst. He is Al Kabir, the analyst. But definitely go check out my guy. He does a lot of Eagles content, but he also keeps it funky with the NFL. You know what I mean? If somebody's putting in that work out there, whether it's the Bills, the Patriots, the Bengals. He'll let y'all know the situation in hand. Great content creator, definitely. And also, we are live on 2 channels, Philly Talk Podcast, also Philly the podcast minus the talk, add the Philly, and you got it. Lastly, wherever you're watching it, though, don't be stingy. Hit that like button. It goes a long way for the content creators. Hey, it's easy. It's free. It don't cost a thing. Let's get these likes up. You know what I mean? It's simple. Shout out to you guys. Eagles stick together. And I know there's a lot of Cowboys fans in here. Do me a favor. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. It's all good. Hitting something, you know what I mean? But shout out. There is some real Cowboy fans up in here. You know what I mean? There's some that keep it a buck. There's some that, I don't know.
We in that season, right? We in that season though. This
we
is
in that talk season.
Exactly. You got to I'm not gonna be one of those teams like that just sits in the back. That's why I'm happy about these Lions fans coming out of nowhere. Like, I'm glad you got a little bit of a boost. I'm glad you feel like giving up your quarterback, your franchise guy, made you better. Good for you. I'm happy about that. Like, everybody, there's gonna be teams that rocket down to the floors come, once the season comes. We might be one of those teams, but for right now, my spirits are high. Like, you know what I'm saying? I like all the players. I think that they're all good people. They're all working hard. That's all I can ask for right now. That's, nobody got hurt, knock on wood. There's no big injuries right now. Like, that's all I can ask for. We're getting through an off season, y'all. Like, it feels good.
Yeah, because like I said, I don't know exactly when, but it was before training camp or right around training camp, but it was before we got on the field. I'm just like chilling and I hear Brandon Brooks.
Bro.
What?
I cried. I want to talk about crying. I was in tears, bro. Last year was my last year of hope. Like, and then, like, real talk. Like, as far as like a real playoff push, I saw the writing on the wall for a lot of these older players, and I was like, this is it. Like, if we're gonna do anything, this is gonna be the year. Like, and so that hurt my heart, man. That hurt my heart.
Nah, but I hear you, and it's like the era that we were all in was over. The Alshons, the Dishons, the Carsons, the Dougs, they're over. Now, some of them had to be over because of the fact that they were part of the problem. All of them were part of the problem. We need a solution, and I think we're working our way to that. The Eagles do have a history of turning it around quickly. I'm not trying to be cocky, but I'm going to mention these teams. The Giants, after they got that Super Bowl hype, they went really deep down before they could try to build themselves back up. They're talking about having a team that's built up. We'll see where Danny Dimes takes them. Danny Pennies, Nichols, oh my, I don't know. But you got the teams like the Dolphins, the Browns, the Raiders for a while. Once they get in that dump, they're there for a while. The Eagles always find a way to get out. We go through a couple losing seasons, but we're back in the playoffs before you know it. And I hope this is one of them seasons where, the division sets it up and we win 9 games and get into the playoffs.
And it'll feel nice when we're coming back here in like 4 or 5 months and we're like, damn, did you see that coming, Joe? I ain't see that. That's crazy. We looking crazy. Because that's what's going to happen, all right? And I'm going to say that until the season starts. That's how I'm going to feel until the season starts. But nobody in this division should really think that it's a give me. Like, I know Cowboys feel like that every year. I'm used to it from them. But, like, especially the Giants. The Giants, you had that same team minus Saquon all of last year. You know what I'm saying? Now you got Kenny Golladay, who might give you 12 games. You got, like, Kadarius Toney, who is a big reach. And then that's it. You got Darius Slayton, who's all right. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I'm not really worried about any of these teams. Like, nobody made a crazy stride forward. So, man, this flag was flying. That's it. You feel me? Like,
facts. Over under 25 touchdown passes for Hurts. I said around 24 to 20. So I'm gonna say over by a little.
Yeah, I'm gonna say over by a little too. I don't think he'll hit 30. I think I said like 28 when somebody was asking me this. I forget who was asking me. I think it was I forget who asked me this. But they're like, it might have been on Philly Foothills. I went on his channel. He was like doing an over under, and he asked me this one. And I think he'll be like just under 30, but yeah, he'll be over 25 in my opinion.
Facts. Shout out to my guy Isaiah real quick. He said Danny Chuck E. Cheese token.
I like Danny Payday Loans. That's a good one. I've heard that one before.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good ones out
A
there.
lot of good ones. Hey, but listen, at the end of the day, I've been doing this for like a year and a half. And listen, I'm going to be right here, win, lose, draw, either taking my lumps, eating my crow, or eating my winner chicken dinner.
That's how it's got to be. We're going to keep that smoke. That's all that matters.
Shout out to my guy Eric with the $10 super chat. He said, here's a little bonus for the great content. Shout out to you guys. Like I said, definitely go over there and check out my man, Joe Castro. Pause. Good stuff over there. Great stuff. But we just hit an hour. Let's talk a little bit more. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Jay Milton. I'll give you that wrench. I just can't do it on streamer. I would have to go to my phone. But yeah. Anything you want to spice up and talk about before we get off here? Anything that you'd be like, you know what? Nobody's really talking about this.
The only real thing I really want to know is like what's going to happen at linebacker. That's like still a big question on my mind. I feel like we got Eric Wilson and all of us just kind of assume he's going to, plug up one of those holes. But like we got a lot of linebackers on this squad and we added some more, you know what I'm saying, quietly. So I have no idea. That's probably like become my biggest fear is the linebacker room, you know what I'm saying, outside of the cornerback. Because I feel like at least you got one guy. You got one guy that's a vet, in Darius Slay, and one guy that can be an all-pro caliber player. At linebacker, you ain't got one person that you can really sit there and, like, hold your hat on. So, like, I think that's probably the most undersold storyline of this year. Like, they're talking about, Devonta Smith and Jalen Hurts every other day. But if you want to bring up some skeletons, I think you got to look at our linebacking core, to be honest.
Yeah. I would co-sign that. I think the defense in general, although I'm really enthused by Jonathan Gannon's energy, what he's going to be able to run, dropping more back in coverage, playing a little bit more zone. Again, under Jim Schwartz, the defensive line plays a wide 9. So you're asking a lot of these linebackers in a Jim Schwartz scheme. I think more cover 2, cover 3-ish, these linebackers are going to be able to play freely. They're going to be able to see ball, get ball type thing. And yeah, we had Davion Taylor and Sean Bradley on, and they both are really excited for the next season because of the fact that, they try to say no excuses, but it was virtual. Everything was hard on them, especially a guy like Davion Taylor, who was already behind the 8 ball, but has athletic gifts. If I had to ask you right now, and then we can talk about the secondary a little bit because I see people asking before we get up out of here. If I had to ask you right now, 3 linebackers that you would want to put on the field come week 1, who would it be?
I'll say, obviously, Eric Wilson, right? I want him to be a starter.
That's funny though, because you started a conversation like Eric Wilson and a bunch of guys, and then you just came back to Eric Wilson and his back to
like a bunch of guys. I mean, it's like, damn. I mean, if I was going off of just like what I saw last year, I guess I would say like probably Alex Singleton. I like what I saw out of him, and maybe a TJ Edwards if he can like work on his coverage, pass coverage. There's nobody that really like jumps off at me other than Eric Wilson. And Eric Wilson, I don't even know if he's going to be that great because I really haven't seen anything of him. Like the only thing that really makes me like confident in Eric Wilson is that he comes from the same scheme. So, I mean, we'll see. Jacoby Stevens, he's a little bit of a wild card. Maybe he can do something. Davion Taylor, maybe he finally gets a shot. There's a lot of guys that are maybes, but those are really the only 3 guys. Maybe a Sean Bradley, maybe he has a spot. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't have anybody I want.
It's rough.
It really is.
I'm definitely going to co-sign with the Eric. Well, I'm gonna take him too. Wilson, yeah.
I'm gonna take him too.
Yeah. I don't know why I kept thinking Williams. I'm reading a long paragraph and it was kind of throwing me off. I'm like, somebody correct me, say his last name.
I was like mid-drink. I'm like, Wilson.
Yeah. Shout out to my guy. Eric Wilson, of course. I think he's gonna play the mic they wanted him to do anyways. That's what came out from Jonathan Gannon in reports. I mean, Alex Singleton proved a lot last year, and I think because of the injuries, TJ Edwards got a little bit of a bad rap. I think he was a little bit better in coverage when he wasn't playing right behind Nathan Gary. Horrible. But
thank God he's gone.
I love me some Davion Taylor and Sean Bradley with just the energy and stuff like that. But I honestly think that they're going to be more of a role player on this team as well. I think if they get their chance in some nickel, dime, some different hybrid looks, as Davion Taylor is quick enough to play that role, they might make something happen. But I do think they're going to start with the veterans, and that's Wilson, Singleton, and Edwards. You know what I mean? Throw Davion Taylor in for Singleton, and throw in Sean Bradley in for a TJ Edwards in a big hitting role. You know what I mean? Because he did lay a couple big hits in his limited role. You know what I mean? But I think the question marks at linebacker are interesting, and we do have enough bodies to rotate. Now, who doesn't make the team? That's going to be interesting in its own right. You know what I mean? But I think at your questionable areas, you got to keep enough bodies that, if worst case scenario, you can rotate. I think cornerback's going to need to be hefty. I think cornerback, linebacker, and wide receiver need to be hefty. Once you go past the top two wide receivers, you know what I mean?
Yeah, linebacker, you hope that somebody comes out because if you go down every position group, there's one guy that you're he's your starter, he's your guy that gotta hold down that position group. There's not one for the linebacking group yet, so that's what I really need. I need to see somebody at training camp kind of become the leader of that linebacking group.
We need to see.
That'll make me feel good.
We need to see week 1, which we played Atlanta Falcons. We need to see a nice pick and return for one of these linebackers to get the juice flowing for that young position group, and it will get us hyped right away. That's the first thing we're talking about. Linebackers making plays, you know what I mean? But real quick, we started this talking about CBS, talking about Devonta Smith and the Chris Sims stuff on Jalen Hurts and just that tantrum. Texas Eagle with the $5 super chat. He said, "What do y'all think about McNabb co-signing Hurts? What is your And I saw what's his name? Rob Motti came out with a little interview. What is your take on that?
Yeah, I think McNabb just wants to be in the news, to be honest. I mean, when if I'm being real with you, realistically, when did you see McNabb with him? We've seen all these, what are you doing? Texting him? I don't know. I love McNabb, but I feel like McNabb just be saying stuff to say stuff at this point. Didn't he say he didn't like me on the Hurts for a while? Wasn't he talking mad junk about him last season?
I'm not sure. I know he was poo-pooing Carson.
Yeah, I know he was. I'm pretty sure he was talking junk about you. I could be wrong about that. I'm sure y'all will correct me if I'm wrong. But if he's talking to him and he's like, "Hey, this is how Philly is," you know what I'm saying? Mentally, this is what you want to go through. That's cool, but I haven't seen no footage of him working out with Donovan McNabb. Donovan McNabb has a whole camp. I've seen, footage of his camp. I've seen footage of his quarterback camp, and they're all kids. I did not say you would see Jalen Hurts. They're all 15, 16-year-old kids. I'm pretty sure you would be able to tell Jalen Hurts apart. I haven't seen that. So, maybe he's talking mentoring in a role of just talking to him through text or, FaceTime. I don't know. I really don't think it's that big of a deal. I think it's just him trying to have a quote somewhere, to be honest.
I think he was such a bad note with hating on Wentz. I think, McNabb just looks at it on the surface and sees what we see in the demeanor, the attitude, the grind, and he praised that and saying that's what you're going to need. I think he was talking highly about him in the sense that he's confident in Jalen, but he's not so confident in what's around him, meaning coaching staff and pass catchers outside of Devonta Smith. And so we're going to see. But like Joe said, we haven't heard from McNabb in a while. He's like, yo, let me get back in the headlines.
Bro, where you been, bro? Shout out to him, though. He's like a QB coach now. But, what are you going to teach him? What are you really going to teach him, bro? You weren't a strong-armed, quarterback. I love McNabb, but McNabb, bro, you should probably just chill. Just enjoy your retirement. Because, I feel like every time he comes into the news, he has, maybe a good couple weeks, couple months, and then he does some dumb-ish. And, he just makes us look bad again. It's bro, just chill. Just sit home. Just leave our quarterback alone, bro. Let him figure it out on his own. I don't think he needs McNabb to tell him about, going through stuff. I think he can get through it. Like, I don't know. I do sound like I'm hating on McNabb, but
Yeah,
I love McNabb, but
yeah. Shout out to you. Said Paul, why is everybody fascinating with the national media prints or states in terms of rankings? I don't think we're necessarily fascinating over, but it's just like when it's that blatantly wrong, I feel like I just need to just talk about it in the sense of Devonta Smith, he's gonna do this, that, and the third. Drafted to the Eagles, fourth. Jalen Hurts, Heisman runner-up. He flashed some stuff. Look at that. Beat the Saints. Thursday night football. I don't even know if it was Thursday night football. I'm just guessing. This, that, and the third. He stinks. You know what I mean? So I just think it is what it is. Plus, it's the dry part of the offseason, bro.
Exactly, right? Yeah, have y'all been looking at the news lately? Like, there ain't much. But I mean, yeah, like you said, bro, if you're in that, it's just disrespectful at this point. And I know everybody keeps saying that we ask for our respect, but that's what you're supposed to do, right? Like, you're supposed to go get your respect. Like that's what I would want my team to do. So yeah, I think that these are important headlines because this gives you the beginning part of the movie, right? I forget who it was that brought up, Jalen Hurts' movie. This gives you that little nobody believed in us part of the movie. You know what I'm saying? We saw it when we won the Super Bowl. We had that little everybody was hating on us all off season. That's what this is. And I'm not saying we're gonna go win the Super Bowl, but you gotta have this. You gotta have these people sleeping on you, and you gotta call them. Like I said earlier in the show, like if we on the street, you talking about my boy, I'm gonna tell you run me a fair one, but I want him to run me an interview. I want him run me a fair interview. You know what I'm saying? We gotta do this professionally.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that's where it is. I think I'm totally understanding of what Jalen Hurts put on tape, the completion percentages, the struggles, along with the flashes. But the struggles, although they were concerning, the flashes were bright. They were bright.
Yeah.
You got to take the good with the bad. Here's the thing: in the National Football League, if you do things the right way, you're only going to get better. We saw great quarterbacks with poor work ethics go down, and we saw guys who were drafted in the third round who, quite frankly, didn't have the necessary tools, put in that work ethic, that demeanor, and headed up. So I'm interested to see if Jalen Hurts could be more of the Saints/Cardinals quarterback rather than the Cowboys/ first half of the Washington, which was concerning. I definitely don't disregard that. I'm not blinded by the fact that, it was concerning, but again, situation, context. If he had a supporting cast that not only if he had a supporting cast that returned, your head coach was so good enough, he didn't get fired. Oh, your offensive line was there last year. You didn't have to draft a wide receiver after just drafting a wide receiver under the old regime. Like, if them things didn't happen, if Doug Peterson is back and all that stuff is there, I will say, well, this is what he had to work with. He's going to work with the same thing, but it's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. People have so much negativity to say. That's why we got to kind of be a little bit optimistic, because it's like you're nitpicking every little thing about Jalen or Devonta Smith or this. I mean, keep it to the team. If you don't think the team is good, I could sit there and agree with you. I get it. But like all these little random rankings just to, I don't know. I feel like it's just to throw little sidearm throws at people, like the whole high school quarterback thing, the whole Devonta is good, but I don't know about his quarterback. What the heck does that have? Like, you know what I'm saying? You didn't
DeAndre Hopkins had two quarterbacks forever, right? DeAndre, and he getting bucket and getting balls thrown to him.
Exactly. Like, come on. Like, it just doesn't make sense. I need the consistent energy. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like we're not getting that from the media. It's just so narrow and so, like, you know what I'm saying? They're going to be bad. And I just don't think that, like you said, I don't think that's the case with the Eagles. We have a shot to prove some people wrong. So I think we will. I think,
Hey, real quick, shout out to Dom. I know he's been a hater up in here. I know that's your guy. That's your hater guy. But look, he's the first quarterback in NFL history to have his first two starts occur, or whatever the word you're saying. He got 500 passing yards, plus 500 passing yards, and plus 150 rushing yards in his first two starts. Nobody in 100 years in the NFL. Nobody's first two starts were more than 500 yards passing and 150 yards rushing. Nobody. So again, that's flashes. 100 years in the making. Nobody's first two starts was plus 500 passing, plus 150 rushing, and he was like 4 touchdowns to 1 interception. Great. And then he did have his hiccups because not only did he have a hiccup, but so did Jalen Reagor, so did Doug Peterson, so did 19 different offensive line combinations, so did everything else. That's why the Philadelphia Eagles look totally different. But one thing don't, Jalen Hurts. You know what I mean?
He's obviously got to prove us wrong. And I think that's something that we're all, and not prove us wrong, but he's got to obviously prove some of us wrong, prove some of us right. We all understand that. We know that he's not where he needs to be. But I feel like we all see he can make that progression. And going back on Carson Wentz, I mean, at least we know that this guy won't quit on us. Like, I feel that much about Jalen Hurts. I feel like he won't just say, all right, whatever, just get rid of me. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's going to probably fight till the end. Like, it is what it is. So that's a win in itself. That to me is a win in itself.
Fact. Shout out to Texas Eagle. He said, I'm out with the $5 super chat. Good talk, guys. I'm out. Cowboys, Giants, no name stank.
Facts. I agree.
All I know is, like I said, Jalen Hurts did some things that other people didn't do. Then he came in and he had some hiccups, but we will see. Who does Dom like? I think he's a Cowboy
fan. He's a Cowboy fan. That's I don't understand how they hate so much about. I not even hate on him, but like I don't get how you don't see the translation. The I don't even know the correlation. I guess is the best word to use. But like Dak Prescott does absolutely nothing with a bunch of all pro talent around him, and he puts up numbers. That's cool. That's the something he does. But he doesn't win any games. You know what I'm saying? Jalen Hurts is out there at least putting up numbers with trash. You know, he had nothing last year. Like, it really is what it is. So, I don't get it. I don't get the hate. But, hey, y'all can keep bringing it. Shout out to Dom. That's my guy. But other than that, yeah, it is what it is.
Shout out to Daniel. This is the guy who got the Jalen Hurts jersey. My bad, I should have waited a year later because now he's rocking number 1. He's like, hey. Shit. But with that being said, we are hour and 17 in. Shout out to you guys. There's a game tonight, right? Western Conference.
Yeah.
Might watch that. Watch the Suns take them out.
That was okay. Yeah, that's unfortunate. What happened to both our teams, man? I can't even talk drunk about you right now.
But now,
bring up Big Ben.
Yeah, shout out to all the haters though. Like I said, I ain't mad at the game. Look, I was born. I am raised to not like Cowboys, Giants, Washington, and that's going to be how it is. And if you don't rep your team as hard as I'm repping my team, then something's wrong with you. But there are a couple NFC East rival fans who be in the chat that keep it a buck, and there's some that just walk around with blindfolds on, like I don't know nothing. Keep it a buck. I give y'all props when y'all deserve it. I want my respect, LeBron.
Yeah. That's my quarterback. That's how I feel right now, bro. I'm gonna bring that smoke. That's my quarterback.
That's man. The Cowboys, yeah, right? TLA.
Yeah, exactly. That's my quarterback, man. Y'all gonna talk about my quarterback? Nah, yeah, but I mean, we don't. That's the thing. At least we've been consistent. We've been consistent with the smoke we bring. I'll admit when I'm wrong. I'll admit when we suck. Well, listen, the season ain't started yet, so I can't admit nothing. You know what I'm saying? I admit that I'm confident. That's all I can really admit. Exactly. It is what it is.
With that being said, listen, make sure you hit that like button. Look, wherever you're watching it, the like button is easy. It's free. It don't cost a thing. Giant fans will want Danny Jones going after this season. They might, man. If he puts up another little 10, 11, 12 touchdowns, there's no excuses. The jury got it. They so-called gave this man a team. He better play. Now he can't even just play okay. Man, he got his running back back. He got his runner back. He got wide receivers. They drafted. They signed one. He got defense. I mean,
he got his balance. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully he got his balance this year.
He got his balance back.
Because like he gonna need all that. But yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat. I'm 29 away from 2000.
Yo, he's 29 away from 2000. There's no reason why we can't get him to. There's no reason why we can't get him to 2K.
Exactly. Let's go over there and hit that subscribe real quick.
I'm gonna need all you 29 subscribes to my guy. Let's get it.
I'd appreciate it.
Daniel Belfield. He's like, yeah, I'll reimburse you $5 on that. Shout out to you, Daniel. Appreciate it. Listen,
he's telling you to go buy a number 2 jersey. That's how much they.
Yeah. That's how much it costs now. But no. We gonna keep it consistent. Listen, I need y'all to keep your notifications turned on because I gave a Jalen Reagor jersey before the training camp start. And I don't know, it's probably going to be a Devonta Smith. I just got mine the other day. But listen, we're going to do a jersey giveaway, but you know what I mean? You got to be involved. You got to listen to that. Oh, he said jersey giveaway. Bang. Do the following, but we're going to definitely give one away. I just want to make sure he doesn't up and change his number last minute. Like I'm going with a 5-piece. What?
That's why I'll be the first ones in those giveaways. Like, what's it called? Birdman did a good luck. I appreciate that, Fleet Trust. But yeah, Birdman did when I was in there early. Like, bro, I'm trying to win. I never win nothing. Y'all need to let me guess something, man. Yeah.
Right. Shout out to Rain in the building, 215. You already know. But listen, Joe, hit that refresh. I got to know. Listen, he needed 29 more subscribers to get to 2K. There's no reason why we can't do this. I will feel hurt if we can't get it. 2 times says Dak is good. We just talking.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah. Dak is good.
We close.
How many now?
I got 4 more, so I need 24 more, 25 more.
Y'all slacking.
They slacking, but it's all good. We're gonna get there.
We're gonna get there. Definitely shout out to everybody in the chat. I want my 100 likes too. If y'all can do me a favor and get me at least 100 likes, like you know what I mean. I greatly appreciate it. You know what I mean. We try to grind out here. Ooh, I got 0 dislikes after all the smoke that was being talked. Shout out to the haters too. I'll get one now.
I can't wait for this season. This season is when it's really gonna pop off, bro. Because I'm definitely gonna be up there or down there, I should say. Right now, up there, because I'm in Florida, so up there.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, up there.
So wait, what games are you going? You say you're going to the one with Cowboys fan only, right? But that's in Dallas.
Yeah, that's in the third. Yeah, that's the week. I think like
3.
What week is that? 3. Yeah. So I'm going to Atlanta, and then I'm going to the week 3 game.
You're going to all road games.
I'm trying to, yeah, because I mean I'm in Florida, so it would be just as hard for me to get to Philly as it would to most of these places. So Atlanta's like 6 hours from me, almost 7 hours from me. So that's gonna be easy. But yeah, I'm gonna be chilling with Dylan Matthews, Simone with the sports, and up in Atlanta watching the game. And then yeah, we're gonna go be chill with I think it was Cowboys fans only that's gonna be out there, right? Tuck?
Yeah, Cowboys J Tuck.
Yeah, so yeah, that should be fun. This is gonna be a lot of fun. I'm definitely going to a lot of Eagles games as much as I can. I might not be in the game, but I'm definitely gonna be out there partying with my fans. Eagles fans. So I'm excited for all of it.
Shout out to Bird Game 31. He's also a new Eagles content creator. He said, I'm trying to get to my first 100. Shout out Bird Gang Nation Sports Talk channel. Shout out to my guy Bird Gang 31. Definitely go sub him up. Just got to type in Bird Gang Nation Sports Talk. And you'll see it. And listen, for those asking for the link, I will drop the link, or you could drop the link in mine if you want. But
my channel. If
you just type in the search bar, what's up there? Philly podcast. You'll see. Boop, there it is. You know what I mean? He'd be right there. But yeah, I always forget the links. But definitely go ahead. You could drop the link in mine.
Yeah, boo, I just dropped it. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we definitely got to get up to some of the games too, man, because I'm definitely going to be out there. So
yeah, I only try to go to home games because when I look around, I like to see green. I don't like to be. I mean, I just I don't know because it's tough. But hey, I actually have never went to a road game, so that's something I got to do. I went to.
You got to. I went to one of my first games was with my father, who was a Giants fan. Yeah, I know, and it was an Eagles versus Giants game, and it was at Giant Stadium. So it was interesting because I definitely was not loved out there at all. But then he came to an Eagles game, and you already know how that goes. He decided he wanted to wear his Giants. He was like, ain't nobody gonna touch me out there. Nobody touched him, but he definitely got a lot of a-holes and a lot of boos. So it was awesome.
My brother's a Jets fan, and he always goes to Eagles games with me because he's my little brother. So like he likes the Jets. I don't know why. He's weird. But if I had to ask him what's his second team, man, I don't ever pick second teams. He's like, yo, do you ever watch the Jets? I'm like, no. He's like, I watch the Eagles. So I'm like, that's cool. I ain't watching no dang Jets. But I kind of know about the Jets because he's always, sending me stuff. This is how we're going to be this. You know how people get hyped when their team stinks. We got a bunch of them in the division. But the only time we went to an Eagles-Jets game was just this 2 years ago when we played and Scandrick was on the team and stuff like that. and he decided to wear his Jets gear, and he got a couple booze and stuff. But he's with a group of other Eagle fans, and we know him. He's cool. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no. When me and my dad went, we literally sat in different sections. Like I had my own ticket to myself. You know what I'm saying? But it was funny. It's always a good time. The only home road game that I really want to go to that I probably won't be able to go to this year is the Raiders one. I really want to go out to
Vegas. Them tickets are expensive, right?
Yeah. It's like the lowest ticket I've seen was like $700 already. I was like, yeah, no, I'm good. Never mind.
You know what $700 can get you at the link? You could get a beautiful seat.
You know what $700 could get you in general? Like, like that's a couple car payments right there and insurance. Yeah. Like, yeah, no, I'm good, man. I am good on that. I might go out there, you know what I'm saying, and link up with some of the people, but I don't think I'm gonna be going to that game.
Yeah, my plan really is to do this too. Not right away, but in the middle of the season-ish, I want to do one where I don't know if I'll take one or two, but I want to do it where they're like, I don't want to sit next to you, bro. You know what I mean? But I want to take somebody, not like physically pick you up, but like you meet me at the link and I give you the tickets and we go rock out. You know what I mean?
That would be dope.
I'm trying to figure that out. Really I really want to figure it out, but in the middle of the season when it gets a little colder. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would be dope. That would be dope as hell.
Ron says CBS stands for completely stupidity.
I agree. All right, CBS Sports is something else, man. CBS, all these like weird, I don't know, all these weird podcasts that are popping up from like Sports Illustrated and stuff like that. It's just like real random stuff popping up lately that is just like, where are y'all talking about the Eagles now? Like Barstool's made in mass and they have like their whole Philly section now. It's like, why are y'all talking about Philadelphia? Yeah, like it just doesn't make sense to me. Maybe I'm just hating. I don't know because it's just weird to me.
Yeah, but there are a lot of people coming out of the woodworks for sure. Philly girl said Eagles versus Jets at the Vet was her first game in the early 80s. Man, me and Joe weren't even here at that time.
Yeah, I was born in 89.
Dang, you got me by a little.
91. You're older than me?
No.
Oh no, you're younger. Me. Yeah, I thought you was younger than me.
I'm 91.
Yeah, I'm old as hell, man. I stopped growing at 21 now. I'm 21. Been 21 for like the past 10 years.
But with that being said, hour and 27 minutes. We're going to rock on for 2 minutes and 19 seconds. We're going to hit that 1 hour 30 right away. Listen, we are live on 2 channels. The link was in there. I should have pinned it. Drop it one more time and I'll pin it for the last minute. Or all you got to do is after the stream, just remember, Philly Talk Podcast minus the talk, add the Philly. Bang! You're in there. Banger. Pause. 1981, baby. Shout out to you. 2 times in the building. What's going on with you? Unforgiven. Said the Raiders, the only team to change cities and get booed out of the stadium in the last 20 years. Yeah.
If I could get out to that game, man, I'm telling you, I might mortgage my whole channel, you know what I'm saying? Just be like,
just to get like, about it, right?
You're gonna see some random ass dude on here like, this is not Philly Fresco anymore. I took his channel over.
It's like Brandon only now.
for a pair of tickets to the Raiders game.
All right, so we got a minute and a half left. I can't talk no more. A minute and a half left. The link is pinned. Click that bad boy. It's as simple as a click.
Appreciate y'all.
It's just going to come right to his channel. Then you hit subscribe and hit the like.
Yeah, you're watching the same thing anyways.
Yeah, right? Look, I'll pause. You're not missing nothing.
No,
I gotta pause so when they get to the other one, I'm just going to start moving again. Yeah.
You missed absolutely nothing.
But always at the end of my streams, it's like a good 5 minutes of not even really talking to Eagles, and it's just wow. I just be like, so what do so what is everybody doing on 4th of July?
It feels good though. Like remember when we first did our collaborations back in the day. I used to always tell you and Fresh, I was like, I don't know how y'all go for 3 hours, y'all go for 4 hours. So I'm excited for the season, but I'm excited for those too. I'm excited for those where we have stuff to talk about for 4 hours.
That's low key why, me, Fresh, and Gabe behind the scenes talk about getting it back up, but I'm like, I'm kind of scared because I don't know if I'm so used to not doing it now. At an hour and 30, I want to call it quits.
Yeah, I feel you, bro. I be like that too. I mean, I love everybody and I love hopping on people's channel, but sometimes it'd be like 2.5 hours. I'm sitting there like, damn, bro. Damn, like, this is long. Especially now because there's not much to talk about. But it is what it is. It's still nice like talking to people and having that back and forth. It is what it is. We all got the same love.
Big facts, big facts. But with that, we're going to end this on a Monday. Remember, click the link, subscribe. He is so close to 2K. Listen,
I think we're at 15 away now.
Whenever at that milestone, when it's 998, trying to get to 1K or 1K to 2K, every K, it's like, bro, I'm so close. Just somebody tip me over. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get 1,000 on Twitter too. I'm at 752. I'm like, dang, this is taking a long time. And with that,
it takes like no time to get close to it. Yeah, facts. It takes like no time to get close to it. But then when you're like you said, you're like a couple away. You just sit there and you're like, damn, okay, like, come on, all right, come on.
Yeah. But listen, shout out to all the content creators doing it. Shout out to Eagle Nation. We will listen. We're gonna talk about it together. We're gonna win. We're gonna lose, whatever it is, together. But at the end of the day, I have a real good feeling about the trajectory going up. Whether it goes up as fast as we want to have a legit winning season. But after the shenanigans we saw in 2020. COVID, firing our coach, losing our franchise quarterback, being at the bottom of the barrel. I mean, really anything will be better. So with that being said, go ahead and let people know where to find you, what you got coming up, and we out.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you already know, man. Philly the podcast. Appreciate you, Mike. We've been wanting to do this. My bad about Friday, and it is what it is. But glad we got to get up and chat it up. But I'm looking forward to this season, man. We're gonna do this a lot more. And man, we're gonna surprise some people. So don't let these guys get you down. They just hate and they mad. Chris Sims mad he ain't his brother or his father. So it is what it is.
Yeah. And it just sucked because the last time we collabed, we really didn't get to talk our Eagles because we were just arguing with Cowboy fans. You know what I mean? So it was on our channels, but we were just arguing with them. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
With that being said, I'm gonna go check his channel in a little bit. I better see 2K. We out. Peace.